Hey there, knowledge seekers! In this video we'll show you 5 proven techniques to learn anything faster and smarter. Let's dive in. Alright, let's talk about memory. Our brains are amazing, but they're also really good at forgetting things. It's like trying to hold on to a handful of sand. The harder you squeeze, the more slips through your fingers. But don't worry, there's a scientifically proven method to combat this: spaced repetition. Instead of cramming all your practice into one session, you space it out over time. Review the material shortly after you first learn it, then again a few days later, and again a week later. Each time you revisit the information, you're strengthening the neural pathways in your brain and making it more likely that you'll remember it in the long term. Here's the science behind it. Every time you learn something new, your brain creates connections called synapses. These synapses are like tiny bridges between neurons, and they allow information to flow through your brain. The more you use those bridges, the stronger they get. But if you don't use them, they weaken and eventually disappear. Spaced repetition is like building a super highway in your brain. So ditch the cramming and embrace the power of spaced repetition. Your brain will thank you for it. Alright, knowledge champions, let's talk about active recall. This technique is all about ditching the passive highlighting and getting your brain actively engaged in the learning process. Think of it like this: reading through your notes or a textbook over and over again is like watching someone else lift weights at the gym. Active recall is like hitting the gym for your brain. It's about actively retrieving information from your memory, which forces your brain to work harder and make stronger connections. Here's how it works. After you've learned something new, close your book, put away your notes, and try to recall the information from memory. You can do this by writing it down, saying it out loud, or even just thinking about it. The more you challenge yourself to retrieve information, the more you solidify it in your long-term memory. Use flashcards, create practice questions, or even just try explaining the concept to someone else without looking at your notes. Alright, fellow learners, let's talk about a technique that will help you tackle even the most daunting subjects: chunking. Our brains love patterns, and they're amazing at remembering meaningful chunks of information. Think about it. You don't memorize a phone number as 10 separate digits, do you? You chunk it into groups like the area code, the prefix, and the line number. Chunking is all about breaking down large, complex pieces of information into smaller, more manageable chunks. This makes it much easier for our brains to process, store, and recall information. The key to effective chunking is to find meaningful patterns and relationships within the information. By finding these connections, you're not just memorizing isolated facts, you're building a network of knowledge in your brain. So next time you're faced with a mountain of information, don't panic. Take a deep breath and start chunking. Alright, knowledge adventurers, let's talk about a technique that will add a little spice to your learning routine: interleaving. You know how sometimes when you do the same thing over and over again, it can get a little, well, boring? Our brains feel the same way about learning. Interleaving is like cross-training for your brain. Instead of studying one subject or skill exclusively, you mix it up and switch between different but related topics. This might seem counterintuitive, but trust me, it works. When you interleave your learning, you force your brain to work harder to retrieve information and make connections between different concepts. Think of it like this. Imagine you're a basketball player practicing your shots. You could spend hours shooting free throws and you'd probably get pretty good at them. But if you really want to improve your overall game, you need to mix it up. Practice jump shots, layups, dribbling, you get the idea. So ditch the monotonous study routine and embrace the power of interleaving. Your brain will be more engaged, and you'll be surprised by how much more you retain. Alright, knowledge dynamos. Let's talk about one of the most powerful learning techniques out there: teaching what you learn. That's right, stepping into the role of a teacher can supercharge your own understanding and retention. Think about it. When you have to explain something to someone else, you're forced to organize your thoughts, clarify any confusion, and think about the information in a deeper, more meaningful way. It's like taking a mental inventory of your knowledge and filling in any gaps you might have missed. You can teach a friend, a family member, a pet rock, or even just talk to yourself in the mirror. The key is to articulate the information out loud in your own words. When you teach something, you're not just helping someone else learn, you're also solidifying your own understanding. It's a win-win situation. And there you have it. 5 scientifically proven techniques to learn anything faster. These aren't just random tips, they're backed by science and they really work. Start applying these methods today and watch your skills grow. Whether you're learning a new language, mastering a musical instrument, or just trying to ace your next exam, these techniques will help you unlock your full learning potential. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tips. Happy learning!